This Dicebreaker video is sponsored by Wild Bills. Ditch the manufactured flavors. Your taste buds deserve better. Treat yourself to Wild Bill's premium handcrafted soda pop. Mouth-watering beverages that allow you to escape to the most interesting places imaginable. Cheers to refusing the drink from the mainstream. Cheers to kick-ass canned. Cheers to being veteran-owned and operated. At Wild Bills, flavor isn't everything. It's the only thing. Use discount code CHEERS15 for 15% off your first order.
Hello and welcome back to Dicebreaker, where we have an incredibly exciting Let's Play to do because we have got not an exclusive one, but a pretty early preview of the brand new Avatar RPG coming soon to Kickstarter, and we have Simon over here with us to not only run the game but to tell us a little bit about it. So Simon, I'm going to throw over to you because you are the expert. What are we going to be playing today?
Excellent.
And let people at home know who you are.
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Simon. I am a pro GM for Magpie Games. I also am a moderator for the Magpie Discord. And what I'm here to do is show you all what's going on with Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Avatar Legends is a role-playing game that's based on Avatar The Last Airbender, as well as The Legend of Korra. And it's a game where you get to create your own heroes in the Four Nations, working to try and restore balance to the world. Because there's always things that need to be dealt with. There are always challenges for people. The elements unite us, and the elements also break us apart sometimes. So what we are going to do is tell a story about a group of heroes who are on their own journey, their own little team avatar, as it were, except that they will be doing different kinds of challenges rather than just confronting what the avatar does. The avatar does things on a much global scale, right? And you're going to be dealing with those things that sometimes slip through the cracks, various challenges. So when we play the game, we are going to play in one of 5 different eras based on the different avatars, from Kyoshi through Roku, the 100-Year War, where Aang was in ice. Aang's era just past the events of the show, and then Korra's era, which is sort of the end of written history, and maybe further. You get to write stories that have not yet happened. So when we play the game, we're going to create some characters based on a number of different thematic touchstones and narrative drives. They're called playbooks. They're a little bit like character classes, but they're also really about fundamental pushes and pulls between 2 different ideals or principles that these characters are struggling with. So you'll get to pick those, you'll pick your time period, you'll pick a challenge that you're trying to deal with, and you'll play to find out what happens. And that's what we're going to do today.
Alright, and we're playing through the 100 Years War, i.e. Aang is in
yes,
ice.
Aang is frozen. So it's been 99 years since the last Avatar existed. As far as everyone knows, the Avatar is gone or dead or disappeared. Many people might not believe the Avatar will ever return. And so some people, like the people in the Fire Nation, have used this to sort of take things into their own hands and push a particular agenda, now that there is this one superpowered being who is trying to put people in their place or right wrongs or do things like that. So using justifications such as a giant comet falling from the sky, it might be a signal that it is time for the Fire Nation to assert its dominance, which Sozin did, and things went very badly. All the air nomads were killed, and the world is feeling pretty grim right now. So we are playing it in time just before the first episode of The Last Airbender. So we're familiar with this time period, more or less, if you've seen the show, but this is before everyone has a bit of more of a spark of hope from the resurgence of the Avatar. It's a little Star Wars,
real good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a good time for us to introduce our characters.
Yeah,
then.
Please.
And I guess I'll go first because I'm already talking. But we're going to be playing different playbooks. Originally, me and Liv accidentally played the same playbook, but that's fine. We fixed that now. I'm going to be playing a character named Karru, who uses he/him pronouns, and he is using the Hammer playbook. He's an outlaw. He's quite blunt, and he hates the Fire Nation. He's an earthbender. He is part of sort of, he's essentially a bandit, but not like a he's somewhere in the middle between. He's not Robin Hood, but he's also not really horrible. He's out for himself. He does a few things outside the law to get what he wants, but with the encroaching Fire Nation, because we're in the Western Earth Kingdom.
We'll be in the Western Earth Kingdom, yes.
Yeah. So with the encroaching Fire Nation invasion, like there's a lot on on the plate of people who can fight.
Yes.
Which means he's kind of found himself in a protector sort of position. He's a little bit creative, but he's mainly passionate, and he loves getting in fights. He loves breaking through walls and showing off and being tough. So he's probably not going to be the diplomatic person in the party. Let's move on. I'll just go based on what I've got on my Google Meet screen. So Meehan, you're next.
Oh, hello. Yes, hello, I am Meehan.
Hi, Meehan.
No, we could have been met before. I'll be playing the Idealists playbook, so my character has maybe experienced some trauma in the past that has caused them to become incredibly passionate about a particular idea or cause. In this case, I'll be playing a character called Vabeau Taishan. Her pronouns, she is a firebender. So her and Will's character, Karru.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's
going
not
to get
necessarily
on.
that I hate all firebenders, but he does hate the militaristic Fire Nation.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We'll see what that's when it comes to me, but yeah.
Well, maybe Vabeau will actually get along very well with them, because she also is not a fan of the kind of Fire Nation leadership at the moment. Like many people, she has suffered under the kind of crushing fist of the Fire Nation in their kind of conquest. She is also an outlaw, because she does not believe in the kind of brainwashy firebend. A Fire Nation is the best ever sort of ideals. But she is from the Fire Nation capital, so she grew up right in the center of everything. And her outlaw nature is from the fact that she is part of a resistance group who are actively working from within to take down the Fire Nation, or at least attempt to. Of course, as you'd expect, that has led to some unfortunate events happening to Vabeau, which has meant that she is indeed, like Will's character, pretty passionate about things, particularly about her cause. And hopefully she can grow as a person and maybe learn that there's more to life than just the cause and fighting and such. So there you go.
Alright, up next, Liv.
Okie dokie. Shur Zojan! You're coming at you from the Fire Nation military.
Coming at you live.
Woo! From the Fire Nation. But yeah, Shur is she has military background, and she's quite an impetuous person. Her pronouns is what she uses, and she's a firebender. Her fighting style is efficient, and she's very creative as well. But she basically, I feel like she's been a part of the military for like the majority of her life, and it's dawning on her now that she's been a little bit brainwashed, and she's kind of like in the last few years has like stepped away from the military and is trying to kind of make her mark and do the things that she never got to do and that kind of thing, and does oppose the Fire Nation's terrible things that they have done, but she's also trying to keep it on the DL a little bit, because she doesn't quite know what she's doing with herself. She's in a sticky situation. But yeah, she loves a good plan. She's a bit of a playmaker. They may not be the best plans, but she loves doing them. And she has a best friend who's a furry little cat dog, I've decided. But it's a fox. It's the cat dog is Fox.
Liv, like Matt said earlier, is this a Nickelodeon crossover between Avatar and Cat Dog?
We're merging the cinematic universes together.
Yeah.
It's priced on Infinite Nicks, right? Yeah.
It's like Smash Bros in here.
Yeah.
I mean,
There
look,
is-
we were all waiting for it.
Oh, no,
the
wait,
cat dog.
there is
The game's coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah, we were all waiting for the cat dog and Avatar crossover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that goes without saying.
exactly.
So we've got
yeah.
a bandit, an anarchist, and a turncoat.
Round us off, Matt.
What have you got to round off the party, Matt?
I am playing not a firebender. I am playing Baku of the Southern Water Tribe. So Baku is... Baku thinks that he uses he, him pronouns, thinks that he is the hero. He's out on kind of an epic journey. He's, going up against the Fire Nation. He's had enough of what they've been inflicting on the world. Unfortunately, Baku doesn't really have the substance to quite back that up. It's all not particularly appropriate for water, but it's all flash. He's very much in the mind frame of wanting to get out there, wanting to do good, but actually he's had quite a privileged upbringing. He hasn't really experienced the real world. So a lot of his journey to date has kind of been a little bit surprising, like actually learning how the world operates outside of the Southern Water Tribe. But in his own story, he is the hero. He is the chosen one, or whatever it may be.
So essentially, you've just made soccer then, right?
Well, Baku can actually walk a bed, so there's difference there.
Okay.
It's Sokka,
give
but
you that
Sokka
one.
believes that he is the Avatar, like just
Yeah, exactly,
waiting to
yeah.
blossom. Yeah.
But yeah, Baku is not good with a boomerang. That's the defining difference here. He wants to be a Super Psycho, but he's just kind of a dripping tap. That's what we're going for here.
Will.
Terrible.
Can I all assume that we are playing characters of roughly the same age? I think is a general. My character's 17, but
Yeah, sure.
You can be
Maybe
young
tiny bit
adults. You
older.
can be old.
Yeah.
I just ran a game the other night with a 80-year-old air nomad nun,
okay.
martial artist, which was really cool.
I want to change my character.
I think I'm early 20s, sort of.
Yeah,
young adult.
Yeah.
19. Let's go with that.
I think Baku's probably 16. It's probably on the cusp again of just like thinking that he is much more accomplished and important than he actually is.
He's grown a single chest hair, and it's over for you all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything is important. I'm the only person who's ever felt what I'm feeling right now.
Exactly.
No one else has experienced what I'm
Yeah.
experiencing.
How could anyone understand?
Right, yes. Awesome. So each of these playbooks is designed to capture sort of a certain narrative thread and have a sort of its own implied story arc that each of these characters is going to be trying to balance and juggle. You'll see that reflected in the way that they're designed and in also the principles that they're balancing. So for example, the icon, your character's name, I've just forgotten.
Baku, yes. I
Baku,
don't think
yes.
I actually introduced that I was playing the Icon playbook,
Yes.
but I am playing
So
it.
the icon is always trying to juggle their role versus their personal freedom. You'll see some of the characters from the shows reflected in some of these playbook designs, even if they're not exactly parallels, but the icon can be sort of a parallel to Aang, in that you are raised from birth, or you are put upon this task that you have to accomplish. And it is very important. It is this heavy, heavy burden, right? Aang has to deal with being the savior of the world. Someone who is not nearly at that scale could be someone who's like, I am protecting this village and its spiritual heritage, like a spirit gate or something like that. I have to deal with this. So in your case, right, you are this avenger, right? Probably a role that the Water Tribe has put on you. And the Southern Water Tribe is in ruins at this point in history too. So maybe you're from this kind of drifting nomadic group that's like, you have to be the one who's going to go out and right the wrongs. We can't leave. We have to protect our own fleet and our own people. But you're going to be the one who makes them pay and makes everyone realize, like, we're still out here, right? So you're going to be pulled between having to fulfill being the avenging blade of your culture and being a 16-year-old kid. Right? The hammer, conversely, right? Karru is going to be dealing with balancing care and force, right? The hammer playbook is very much sort of like a Korra. Like, I want to punch every problem that I see. And I get very frustrated when a problem can't be punched.
The force side.
Yeah, right. So we're going to see these things pan out as we go. Each of those things will kind of bring things up. We'll be shifting our balances back and forth. So one thing that you all should be doing, in case you didn't already, is tick the little diamond, however you're tracking your character sheet, at the center of your balance track at 0. So there's like a little N. So your balance will start at 0, and that's your center. As we play, your balance will shift towards different directions, as people will tell you about the world, as your personal philosophy evolves. So if you want right now, your balance will start at 0, or you can shift it 1 degree to the left or to the right towards...
Oh, I have.
Yeah, right. I assume you're going towards force.
Yeah.
Of course. Right. The classic hammer playbook. I've seen this. So, like, if you're playing the Guardian, right, or the Bold, you could shift your balance towards loyalty versus confidence, right? As you go towards either end of these two principles, one will get stronger and the other will get weaker. And that may be a good thing or it may be a bad thing. We'll see. So we're going to preview a lot of these different mechanics as we play, rather than sort of bombard you with everything. We're going to get right into the story, now that we know who our team is. So to begin, I always like to talk about games cinematically, because I think it's a language that we're all very familiar with, and especially for a series, a TV series, I think it works great if we think about, like, what are the camera angles we're using? What are the filters that we have, right? So in the beginning of our show, we see book 1, chapter 1, right? Just the scroll, the text. And there's just a gentle drum, like a dong, that echoes. We fade. As we fade in, we see a group of figures huddled together for warmth around a dwindling campfire in the early hours of the morning. There are just a few creaking tree toads here in the Western Earth Kingdom. There's some signals of like different life signs kind of chittering around. Everything is that kind of early morning stillness, maybe a little bit of fresh dew in this midsummer afternoon or midsummer dawn. And as the camera slowly spirals towards the group huddled for warmth around this dwindling campfire, we see kind of each of your faces as you're having this fitful sleep. And we flash back all of a sudden. Soft focus filter, right? Everything's in sepia to know that we're in the past. We see what happened, what led you to this point. We see your group together. You have come together already for different purposes. Maybe you were in the military camps as you were fleeing your duties. Maybe you were traveling through a Fire Nation port town from the Southern Water Tribe on your trips. However you were, we see your group banding together and going, we're going to get in there and we're going to get the stuff, right? We cut to a shot of a tent, and there is this very stern looking woman in full military regalia. Her hair is done up very severely. We know her name is Commander Han because we saw this in the pilot episode, which is something that we kind of do when you play at home. You'll create kind of your pilot episode to get everyone on the same page. But Commander Han, she's an admiral. She's an Admiral Han. She is saying, I want that fox, and I want him dead. I don't care how you do it. I want him gone. He's causing trouble for everyone in the colonies. And if we have to burn down that whole forest and everyone who lives in it, that's what we're going to do. She's giving orders to this kind of muscular, tough-looking guy, also in heavy armor, who we know is Captain Amano. This is her second in command. So we kind of have the shot of the group of you kind of listening outside the tent, right? We flash forward to you stealing the battle plans for this, and we see kind of glimpses of your characters running and trying to get away from these Fire Nation soldiers as you raided their camp, right? And we flash forward to you escaping by boat. You've come to the coast, to the Western Earth Kingdom, and you awake from a fitful sleep, having had these dreams of what's just happened to you. It's been a few weeks, but we know that we are in the Western Earth Kingdom. You've heard stories that there is a Robin Hood type, sort of like Karru, but who has a following in a way that Karru does not. Karu's probably some mixed feelings about that. But the Green Fox is this rebel leader who is doing things to sabotage the Fire Nation's movements in the Western Earth Kingdom, and has been trying to do right by the people, and has this huge like folk hero, like mythological following around him. And Admiral Han thinks this is a problem. He's raiding these supply caravans. He's messing with the order of things. She wants him taken out. Her terrible plan is that she wants to destroy his secret base, which is in a forest somewhere in the Western Earth Kingdom. And she's going to burn it to the ground. It's not just, I'm going to take out this rebel leader. I'm going to destroy everything in my path to get to this one threat. If I can cut you out, the problem is solved. What you've done is you've stolen her plans. And in the process of escaping, you were helped by one of the Green Fox's rebels, Topaz, whose sacrifice let you escape. But Topaz, before they gave up to the overwhelming odds of the soldiers who were charging at them, was like, I know how to reach the Green Fox. I need you to do this for me. I need you to deliver this information so that he can prepare and that we can do something to save the people around us. With this mission, the weight on your shoulders, we awake. What is it like in the morning for each of you as you come out of your sleep, knowing that this is your duty, that you've been traveling, that you're being hunted?
I think Karru's still like half asleep, but looking incredibly casual. I think he spent his entire life on the run, so at this point it's quite comfortable.
He's used
for him.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, he's literally like reclining against the wall of this cave we're in, just sort of, feet crossed, sort of like pulling up his little bandana to see that the sun has risen, and just sort of getting a view of the room.
I think that Shur is already awake and is extremely anxious, but like she's channeling that into a workout routine. So you just like look to whichever side of the cave she's on, and she's currently doing push-ups. But like her little fox Vabeau is in front of her, and it's just going as if like counting,
keeping pace, like, right? Excellent.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what she's up to.
I think Vabeau is just like slowly pushes herself up to her, like, so she's sitting and she pushes back this hood that she's wearing. It's like part of a cape, sort of a hooded cape, a symbol that she's got, and she's like looking around, just like, God, I hate the outdoors. Look, flies biting everything, and frogs, and it's just disgusting. She stands up, just sort of brushing herself down, looking around at what everyone else is up to.
As if on cue, a dragonfly just buzzes by and just sort of alights on your shoulder very gently.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but like, like jumps up and like slapping at her shoulder, and she just yells very dramatically, "I hate bugs!" And then looks around, like realizing that she's made a huge scene, and then sort of looks very, yeah, whatever.
I think Baku wakes up, and for Baku, this is this is the sky bison doo-doo hitting the fan kind of thing. We're in the midst of it. It's all suddenly kind of dawning on him exactly what the reality of the situation is. But in his mind, he is the kind of de facto leader of this group, despite being the youngest, despite being not the most talented or accomplished. In his mind, he has to be strong for everyone else. So I think as he wakes up, he kind of water bends the cold sweat off of his brow and just gently disposes of it in the dew that's on the leaves, and just tries to make himself kind of as composed as possible. Maybe puffs up just a little bit, looking around at the rest of the group.
Yeah, I think we have a momentary flashback as we see you straightening up. And you've got a friend with you too. You've got a big friend, do you not?
A cat gator, yes. A cat gator called Shur. I think again using I would guess the Baku probably kind of sleeps almost in Shur's embrace as much as a cat gator can embrace. Not quite as cuddly and curled up as other animals in the Avatar universe.
Is it? Are they like the one in the Swampy episode?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think they befriended each other on Baku's travels, and kind of formed a bond. But again, I think Baku, almost the strength of a cat gator with Baku is like a cover for his own weaknesses in some ways.
Yeah, they match each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think what we see is this moment as you're kind of nested and preparing yourself, oh, I'm awake, I have to be the leader. As you put yourself together, there's a flashback and we see the same pose that you're making now, standing straight. And there is an elder from the Southern Water Tribe standing over you on the deck of a boat, and he's very, very somber. He's got his hands on your shoulders, and he's looking you in the eyes remember, Baku, outside of our fleet, there are people who are suffering. You must go out and right the wrongs. And the people you will meet, they don't know what's best for them. You have to be the strongest. You have to be the strongest so that they can be the best versions of themselves. And he marks you with a symbol of the Water Tribe on your forehead, and we flash back to the present, having seen the elder of your group, Umik, having just given you this kind of speech as you're leaving, as he's sending you off, packed off to go. What I'm gonna do is shift your balance towards your role, away from your freedom, as the memory just washes over you of I have to be this person for everyone else.
I think Baku probably just gently touches where the symbol was put on his forehead, as the memory comes flooding back.
Yeah. So the group is kind of woken up, you're kind of stretching, you're kind of doing your things, and you know that you're gonna need some supplies. You've just escaped from the Fire Islands with these plans. You kind of have a sense of where you're going, but you didn't really have time to pack. Some of you might have supplies, but they're certainly starting to dwindle after so much time on the road. Baku's certainly. Karru probably has a little bit of stuff left over. For some of you who might have just left your military camp, Shur, if you were in Admiral Han's unit, you probably don't have anything except the armor on your back.
Ooh, cool.
You might have a little
grabbed
bit of
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I grabbed something especially for Bobo to make sure that Bobo had food, and then
Of
that's
course.
what I have.
But I think your stomachs start to growl, and you're oh, snap.
Vabeau looks around. She's like, I'm not eating one of those frogs. That's not happening. She
Good.
points at there's a frog, a close up of a frog just go like that.
I think Karru's got a small pebble, which he's kind of using a little hacky sack. He's kind of showing off a little bit, and then using his bending, he's an earthbender. I don't know if I mentioned that. He sort of kicks it at the frog to try and like kill it for food. It says something along the lines of, we're gonna have to eat something.
And this is a frobit, so it's a small toad that has these high pointed ears and a little cotton tail. Because everything in Avatar is chimeric, except for like one or two things. It's a gag sometimes. But the frobit like sees the pebble and goes, "Roar!" And it jumps away. It's like very scared, hops away back into the dew.
Karru's doing like a little.
I see you, right? I'm gonna get you.
I'm doing sit-ups, and I'm just like as I go up, I say something, just kind of. Well, we're gonna have to do something. Where do you think is the nearest town? Or should we hunt? I don't know. And then look at Vabeau for advice. He's just like,
I think Bobo like looks at you quizzically and then kind of looks over because Bobo has keen senses as a cat dog, and turns, and you hear voices coming along the road. There are a handful of travelers who are coming by the little cave that you've made camp in for the night. They look to be a mixture of people wearing kind of brown and muted greens of the Earth Kingdom, along with one or two people wearing kind of more red tones of the Fire Nation. But they all are walking and talking kind of enthusiastically. And they get closer, and you overhear them. Do you think this year's display will be even more impressive than the last? Of course! They've been working tirelessly day and night to make these. The fireworks here in Juge Village are absolutely to die for.
I think hearing this, Vabeau runs towards the fire that they've had and proceeds to, like, bend it and then, like, I don't know if benders can do this, but, like, sort of snuff it out between her hands like that.
Yes, absolutely.
She goes like that and then looks around at everyone and says, "Hide! They're gonna hear us! What are you doing?" And then she runs, like, behind one of the trees. And then, like, you could just see, like, her head, like, peer out around the side.
I'm not moving. I'm just kind of looking over to where she went and then looking at the others.
Right. So we get
Aren't they the same as us? I don't know. What?
Hold on. You hear rich people? Where there's rich people, there's food. We could cause some kind of landslide and get them all hooked up.
And then we set the landslide on fire. I don't know. Ooh. I don't know how we work together. I don't know how this works.
You haven't lived in a forest very long, have you?
Not at all.
Fire's bad here. Let me just say that now.
The concept of fire being bad is just like...
What do you think, little man? Karru gives like a big, heavy pat on the back to...
Baku.
Baku, yes. Sorry, I've written it down.
I think Baku like stumbles forward a little bit before regaining the kind of composure. It's like when you're breathing in and trying to really like tense up a little bit. Kind of regains that. It's like, well, of course, as the leader of this group.
What?
Yes, the. What? I mean,
leader, he says.
Well, okay. We're valued companions. I agree. The avalanche plan is a good one. Yes, it's exactly what I was about to suggest myself.
I think hearing this, Vabeau steps out behind from the tree, realizing that no one else is following her plan, and then walks over. Just while she's walking, she says, "Sorry, are you talking about just killing these people? Like,
whoa, no, we're not gonna kill anyone.
I mean,
I'm just gonna stop their journey
avalanche.
so that we can rob all of their stuff."
Oh, I thought it was going to be a classic, avalanche boom onto the people, cut them off, just they're done. No? No?
That's not what I had in mind, no.
Wow, my mind immediately jumped to that. This is exciting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, sounds like a Fire Nation sort of thing to do, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should just, follow them to this village, and maybe we can find food and supplies, and we don't have to harass innocents who are just walking along the road, minding their own business.
Hey, listen, lady. Harassing innocents is my business, okay? All right, how about we put this thing to a vote? I say avalanche.
As you've got your hand shooting up, and you're all like chatting about like what are we gonna do. The travelers have stopped at this point. They've seen Vabeau stick her head out of the behind the tree, and in that classic sort of animated style of there's the tree, and then just a diagonal angle head.
Yeah.
And they kind of look over confusedly, and a few of them step in your direction. You there, fine youths! Come with us! The fire festival approaches! All are welcome in Juge Village.
Yeah, Vabeau just suddenly stands stock still. It's like, the fireworks. Yes, we were going there anyway.
Oh, how fortuitous! You can join us along. We would love to have the company.
Sounds great. I hop up like, don't worry, my friends have anxiety, but we're ready to go. Let's, shall we? Compatriots?
All right, let's go.
Okay.
I was just about to suggest that we join them and maybe discuss and head back to their village for some more diplomacy. Maybe there's more to be gained from this.
Okay.
And with varying degrees of trepidation,
Yeah.
they sort of like wave you over, like, come, we won't bite. We're very kind. Yes. And they as you walk along the road, they are travelers. They're like middle class. They seem to be doing sort of a bit of a tourism thing, because this village, as they explain, is known for these beautiful fireworks displays. Every year they get more and more opulent, and more extravagant. And as you arrive at Juge Village, it's this town kind of nestled in some foothills. So there's a bit of greenery on the outside and then a lot of stone. You can see there's a quarry kind of on the edge of town. And the buildings here are done up in an Earth Kingdom style, but they have Fire Nation banners. It is safe to assume that this is one of the colonies that the Fire Nation have set up. So part of what the Fire Nation did during the 100-Year War is after they initially put out their sort of imperialist, we're going to share our glory with the world, set up some shop in the Earth Kingdom, which is massive. The Earth Kingdom is huge. But they've set up a few towns that they've either built or claimed, and so there is a bit of cultural exchange happening here. So this is an Earth Kingdom village participating in some Fire Nation festivals. And as you arrive, like, this is hopping. This is a big deal, obviously. The banners are snapping in the wind. As soon as you get there, you can smell cooking meats and vegetables. There is music playing. People are laughing. And it seems like everyone is just having a grand old time. And the travelers look back at you as you finally arrive and are like, oh, yeah, well, good luck on your journey. I was expecting a bit more conversation, but I understand that in these times you can't be too careful, and sometimes discussing politics can be a bit of a divisive issue. Well, good day. And they sort of
And
go off.
to you.
As they're sliding off, can I pick one of their
Oh,
pockets?
for sure. Now, you are an outlaw,
Uh-huh.
which means there are some moves that we can trigger. When we play a game in this style, this is a game that is powered by the Apocalypse, which is inspired by a game from back in the day called Apocalypse World. It's funny to say, because I think that's from 2013, I think. It's not that old, but it is it's a
RPG-wise. It's
yeah,
pretty old,
for some of us, it's like a dog, like thousands and thousands of years. But in this type of game, we sort of follow the fiction, and certain things that happen in the fiction will trigger a move, which is sort of like an action. And in that case, when the outcome is uncertain, or there is possibility of danger, or if it's interesting, we turn to the dice to find out what happens. Because you're an outlaw, I think that picking someone's pocket means that you're relying on your skills and training to do so. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to do is roll 2 6-sided dice, and you're going to add your focus.
Oh, my focus is very bad.
Yeah.
It's funny, the hammer is not very good at staying disciplined, but they're very good at following their heart.
Okie dokie. Here we go then. So I get a -1.
Yes.
Focus. But we'll see what happens. That's not great. So that's a
First
total
roll.
of 5.
Okay, exciting. So when we trigger this move, when you rely on your skills and training to overcome an obstacle, gain new insight, or perform a familiar custom, we roll with focus. We've done that. So in this game, when we roll our dice, we're looking for, ideally, higher numbers usually, if we want things to succeed. A 10 plus means that you get a strong hit, right? You get everything that you want with no complications, usually. A 7 and 9, it's a mixed success, right? You do it, but there might be a cost, or it might not happen the way that you expect it to. And a 6 or lower is a miss, which means not necessarily that you fail, you might succeed too well, but there might also be complications. So for players, you're always triggering these various moves, right? Like relying on your skills and training, pushing your luck, etc. But I, as the GM, have some moves as well that I can make when you roll a miss. So I'm going to make one of those now and say that what does it look like as you go to pick the pocket of this person?
I think I'm doing my classic, like, heavy pat on the back. But as I go to sort of, like, pull the hand away, I'm just sort of, like, tugging on the coin purse or something, you know?
Yeah. So we see that. It's very slick. It's animated so smoothly. It's buttery smooth as you, like, palm this in. This is something you've done countless times. What you weren't counting on is festival security, which is extra tight right now. And so you're like, you've got the coins, right? Maybe you're counting them, and you feel a heavy hand on your shoulder, and a voice from behind you says, "I'll be taking that, young man."
What do you mean you'll be taking that? This is something that I earned through my services. What are you talking about?
The rest of the group, you see, there is a group of town guards. They are wearing the greens of the Earth Kingdom. And they look down at you with disdain. And the one who's got the hand on the shoulder is like, "Don't try and pull that off on me. I watched you palm it off that sucker right there."
Yeah, he refused to pay me, so I thought I'd take my due. We guarded these guys all the way in here.
Yeah, and you helped yourself to a little bit extra off the top. Is that it? I see you types all the time. You're coming with me. And he goes to grab you and pull you away.
At this point, Vabeau steps in and puts her arm around Karru and looks up at the guard and says, "Look, don't mind my friend here. He's just very he doesn't quite understand, what civilized places. He's very much from, the back end of the swamps and forests and everything. But I brought him here for the festival as an ambassador for the Fire Nation." And she does a little with her hand, sort of fire to show that she's of the Fire Nation.
You make a little spark, yeah.
Yeah. It's it's all about fire and earth relations. I just need to teach him a few things about civilized living.
So why don't you watch your mouth, bud?
I think Vabeau puts her hand on
Immediately.
Karru's mouth.
Yeah.
He's just feisty.
So I think this sounds like you're trying to trick an NPC.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll with your creativity, Vabeau.
Okay, I've got a +1.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Roll 1d6. Right. 1d6? 2d6?
2d6.
2d6!
2 whole dice.
Yeah.
That is an 8.
Okay, so it's a
I
mixed
rolled a
success.
6.
On a hit,
Plus-
they fall for it, and they do what you want for the moment. On a 7 and 9, we're going to pick 1. Would you like them to stumble, giving you a +1 forward to act against them? Act foolishly, and I will tell you what opportunity they give you, or overcommit, and they are deceived for a long time.
what are the downsides of overcommit?
Because it sounds real good. But
They'll just be
Sounds very good.
They'll buy that lie hook, line, and sinker.
Oh yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like, this is just some poor yokel, and I'm uplifting him, right? I'm here to teach him
Yeah.
cultural values, etc., right? Which they seem to be into, and they nod and they're like, huh. It's not every day that you see someone who's taking Governor Zhao's lessons to heart. That's pretty impressive. Well,
Yeah. All respect to Governor, the governor, and we very much believe in what he stands for, and thank you so much for allowing people, like this one, to kind of come and enjoy your cultural events.
they also seem very interested in keeping you happy. Because the minute that you mention that you're from the Fire Nation, you make this little spark. That's part of this overcommitting, is they're like, yeah, of course. You keep doing the good work that you're doing. And please, as a diplomat, do let us know if there's anything we can do to make your stay more comfortable. And they turn back to Karru, and they speak very slowly and enunciatingly, the way that people think that you need to talk to someone who doesn't speak your language, which doesn't work. You are going to give money back to me. I give to them. You nose clean while here, okay?
Me punch you in face if you don't get out of here.
Oh, he's very funny, right?
I'm very angry.
One of the guards turns to look at Vabeau and goes, "Oh, you got your hands full." They pocket the money, and they send you on your way. But they seem to be like, they look at you like, "All right, you go free. Like, have fun at the festival."
When they turn their backs, can I earthbend a little bit of rock in front of one of their feet so they trip a little?
Oh yes, absolutely. You just sort of like flick your finger up, and a little pebble kind of goes, and they walk off, and one of them like shoves the other one. Like, can you believe the nerve of that guy? What a loser! Trips and stumbles, falls flat on his face.
Yeah,
looks down
that's
like,
more like it.
I gotta fix that flagstone.
I think I was just going to say, while all of this is happening, because I want nothing to do with any guards or any like authoritarian figures who could maybe recognize me or something, I'm pulling Baku aside and just being like, "Hey kid, let's just talk away from them and just kind of face away from them. You know, how's it going with you?"
Well, you know, I could have... I was going to step in, but it seemed like they had it handled.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we need to be anywhere near that because they've got it on lock, you know? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I like your thing. The animal, the cat, is a cat gator? Is that what it is?
Yes, yeah. So, my good friend Shur, she's been with me on many a journey. This journey, but it's been a long one.
Oh, so it's your first foray out into the world?
I'm technically speaking, but
right.
It's, you know, I've been through many places. I've done a lot of things.
Sure.
You wouldn't believe the things
I wouldn't.
I've done.
No, I wouldn't. No. I'm sure that this is going to be a very formative experience for all of us, of course, not just you.
Well,
because
you know,
you're well traveled. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to impart the experience and the kind of knowledge to those who follow you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's part of why I'm on this journey.
No, you're so world weary for someone who's 14. What are you like?
Six. I'm 16. That's 6. Almost 17. 16. And
sure. No, it makes a big difference.
4
It's like
fifths.
Yeah.
Wow. Almost 70. Very impressive.
Oh, you're back. Okay, I thought they had you. Hey.
No, we're fine. I handled it.
As soon as the guards have walked a decent amount away, Vabeau is gonna turn around, put her hands on either side of Karru's arms, and just go, "What do you think you are doing?" "We are trying to stay unnoticed. I am in trouble. They are in trouble. You are in trouble. We don't need this." Yeah. Look, big guy, I know you've got a lot to prove. We all do. But we're here for a very specific purpose. Please don't end up in the jail. We have to break you out. Okay?
I've broken out of jail. You know what? Whatever. I get it. Okay? Leave me alone.
Okay, and break. Team play. Nope. Okay, like, right. Cool.
Shu is getting acquainted with the cat dog as well while this is happening. They're like sniffing each other out and kind of getting acquainted. While you're having this conversation, I think like maybe you've started to sort of walk and talk a little bit through the streets, and there's kind of the hustle and bustle of things in general. But you notice something. Which one of you I think is the most sort of on edge right now?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was
Not me.
So sure, right? You're a soldier, right? I think you've been trained for this kind of situational awareness frequently, that you're always looking for threats, right? I imagine, you can tell me if I'm wrong, that you sort of tend to do the Jason Bourne, as soon as you walk in a room, you know where all the exits are and what you can kill someone with, kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Like ocular pat downs on everyone, yeah.
Right. You're going to be a problem. You're fine. Yeah, so while you're walking, your friends are like chatting up. Karru's oblivious. Baku's oblivious, but in a different kind of way. Vabeau's very tense, and probably too tense to notice what's going on. But you know, like, you guys are carrying horribly incriminating evidence. These stolen battle plans. Like, you're not supposed to have these at all, obviously. If anyone catches you with them, it's curtains. So maybe you're thinking about all that. And as you're walking, you notice someone's watching you. Every now and again, out of the corner of your eye, you see a green... Some people are wearing these masks for the festival. These very colorful things that have like abstract patterns or creatures' faces. There's someone with a green fox mask wearing kind of dark green tones who keeps appearing out of the corner of your eye. There they are, by that fruit stand, buying a mango. And then you turn the corner a little bit later, and there they are in the middle of a crowd watching jugglers spinning fire. And they turn slowly to sort of make eye contact with you, and then you blink, and they vanished in the crowd. You walk a little bit further, and you see them kind of leaning off of a roof of a bathhouse, kind of looking down at you, and then disappear. What do you do?
I'm going to last time I see one of them, or just the next time they pop up, I'll say 7 o'clock to everyone, and hope that they hope that they look in the right direction. Don't be too obvious about it. But we are being
Karru
followed.
stares up at the sky. He's like, "Nah, it's like it's not even noon."
No. This is going to be fun. We're being followed by a bunch of people in fox masks. I mean, I assume it's more than one person. If it is the same person, that is pretty impressive. But yeah.
Vabeau knows exactly what Shur is kind of in terms of like, she knows exactly how to act with Shur's kind of advice. So she keeps walking, she doesn't turn her head, but her eyes are like darting around, like trying to see where this person is, and her mouth is closed, but from the corner she's like, "Don't make any obvious sudden movements." I know exactly what to do. And she's gonna, like, when they walk past the next kind of, like, offshoot alley, if there is one, she's gonna, like, dart into that alley.
And just juke out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you slip into
Using
the alley.
her, I would like to say, using her urban knowledge.
Yeah, you've been around
Knowledge
streets. You know how to disappear when you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna do that, and hope that the others maybe follow suit or.
Okay.
Karru has not conned on.
Lost Vabeau. We've lost Vabeau. Has anyone got eyes on Vabeau? Anyone?
I think maybe Karru and Baku are sort of like chatting because we're both not from big cities, so I think
Right.
we're both just like, it just never ends. Where do all these people come from?
Yeah.
There are people coming up to you who are like they're trying to push wares on you, like, get your commemorative Fire Festival hats, and they're these very opulent, like bright red conical hats, kind of in an Earth Kingdom style, but they're painted like bright red with flames coming up the sides. There are people trying to sell you like spicy street foods and stuff all the time. Like it's just endless sensory overload.
Yeah, I think Baku almost like tucks a little bit closer into Shu, just as like Shu kind of plods along, but not enough to suggest any kind of fear, but just a little bit. The combination of what Shur and was saying, combined with kind of these people rushing forward, it's like trying to puff up, but also backing in slightly.
You're all kind of nested together, the three of you, Shur, Baku, and Karru, are like, oh, wait, what do we do? And we cut to the alley that Vabeau has ducked into. Your friends are not with you. They didn't get the message, whatever you were trying to do.
Yeah, she fully, that was to be honest, that was the outcome she expected.
You're like, well, I don't know what I expected. And as you're pondering these things in this kind of darkened alleyway, there's not a lot of sunlight through here. There's maybe like one ray of light piercing through the canopies here.
Can she quickly put her hood up and then sort of lean casually against the wall of the alleyway and wait?
Yeah, so you lean casually back, and after a few moments, out of the shadow on the other side of the alley, just almost like peeling out of the shadows, comes the figure in the green fox mask. And just walks and leans up against the wall, mirroring your body language.
Vabeau says, nice day for it. Waiting for them to respond.
That makes one of us that can say it's a nice day.
Oh, is there something wrong?
I don't know, you tell me, traitor. What are you doing parading around with innocent people? You think you're just gonna change them? You can't make people follow your rules.
I don't make anyone follow my rules. I don't make anyone follow any rules. That's the point. You get me?
You're trying to play it off cool. The fox tilts their head a little bit. This is not the answer they were expecting. The fox kind of takes a step forward. When you walk into my town and you tell me you're here to take care of a bunch of yokels, I take that to heart. But you don't seem like the rest of them. You don't act as high and mighty. I've seen how scared you were in the street. So help me put this together. What are you really doing here?
She looks at the person's mask and then she sort of, she's gonna try and like lean over and tap it with her finger.
And that person grabs
yeah.
your hand instantly
Okay.
and is like,
She says, "And what are you afraid of, exactly? Little old me? I'm just one person. We're surrounded by people who you think are like me. I really don't think I'm the threat here. And if you're wearing that mask for any particular reason, maybe you ought to rethink things." She's gonna say that.
Yeah. That person gently releases your hand and tips the mask up.
Mm-hmm.
They're a young person, about 18. They have kind of close-cropped dark hair that's kind of tucked behind a hood. It's pulled up. And they look at you kind of with a softer face and say, "What am I afraid of? That this is going to be everything. That things are never going to change. That these people are going to keep suffering, and we won't be able to do anything about it. I'm trying to make things better here. And if you believe in that cause, you can join me, or I can put you in the ground." And they cautiously reach a hand out to you. And that's where we're going to pause.
Yes.
So that's it for this episode. We'll leave you on a little cliffhanger action. And we'll come back.
We've got 2 more episodes coming. We're going to be posting one every week. So this will have gone out on Saturday, but if you tune back in the Saturday after, you will see episode 2 posted as well. A massive thank you for Simon from Magpie for running us through this. It's been excellent so far, and I'm really, really excited to see what we get up to in the next one. Simon, where can we find more of you and more about Avatar?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Lucha Libris. If you're curious, you can check me out over there. More information about Avatar is coming by the time you watch this. It'll probably be already live, the Kickstarter. So you can go to magpiegames.com for more information about that. You can check out the Kickstarter. There will be a link there. There's probably a direct link that I don't actually have on top of me right now, but it'll be, if you go to magpiegames.com or follow Magpie Official on Twitter, you'll be able to get linked right there and see all the good stuff that's coming out and follow the development of the game.
Sweet, and we will have links in the description for the Kickstarter as well. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Dicebreaker. If this is your first time here, please do hit subscribe. You can also click the bell icon to get notified whenever we put a new video live. We post videos all the time with all kinds of stuff about tabletop, but we also write some pretty fantastic articles as well via Matt Jarvis, Alex Meehan, Chase Carter, and all of our lovely contributors. So please head on over to dicebreaker.com for more of that. If you want to support the channel even further, maybe you've been here a little while, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can either join up for Dicebreaker Plus, which is our membership program here on YouTube, to get exclusive new videos, emotes and badges and all that kind of stuff, or you can grab some merch at dicebreaker.myshopify.com. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you on the next episode, but until then, have a lovely day. Goodbye!
Bye.